Why don't you tell that story again about what your mother told you about your grandfather's place? The steel?
Well, let's see, when my mother and daddy separated, my mother went to her father's and lived, and he made a...
And his name was William Questenberry.
Yeah, his name was William Questenberry.
And he lived in outside of Hillsville, Virginia.
Down
Who's
in
telling
Floyd.
this story?
Lived down in
just
Floyd.
teasing.
And
Your grandmother lived in Floyd?
that's where they're making the liquor.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. And that's where she went when, well, for that part, I was born to see up there in Carroll at Sheila Dalton place. And I was born in an old log house. And my mother lived in one end of it, and her sister and her husband lived in the other end. And then when they separated, she went to live with her daddy and mother down in Floyd. And
Is your mother?
yeah,
Went
my
to live
mother and
with her?
daddy.
Okay.
My mother went down there and to live and take me and my brother and lived down there with them for a while. And then he made liquor down there. And they had the steel was out in a building out about, I don't know, just about how far further than here out there to the crib, or building, the gate out there. And they just supposed to make so much liquor.
You said that it was taxed, so
Yeah,
it was legal.
It was taxed and it was legal, but it wasn't supposed to have so much on hand. And when they usually kept too much, and when my granddaddy told my mother, well, his wife too, my grandmother, to hang a white cloth out when somebody'd come around, they thought they better hide their liquor.
To hide the excess they made.
Yeah.
I never heard that.
No.
I guess I've heard too many stories about
If that's when you was born, Mama. That was back, what, about 1900?
Well, it was, I was born in 1899, and I was about 2 years old
Okay.
when they separated. Of course, he's making it all along then.
Uh-huh.
They lived there. They moved back up in Carroll during the time my mother and was separated before she married again.
Okay.
Back up there, up in close to Duxborough. I can't remember the moving, but I can just remember being there and down there. With my grandparents. And
Well, how old were you when they moved from there? You said you were about 2
I
years
don't
old.
know how old I was when they moved, but I was about 2 years old when I went to, when my dad and mother separated.
It's pretty good if you can remember any of that.
And Mac was about 6 months old.
Oh my. Then what do you remember after that? The next place?
Well, next place was living up there close to Duxborough, but can't never remember another moving or anything up there. Just remember how
You just know you lived up there.
I moved up there when and they give Aunt Suzanne the place, and she moved in that house, the one that lived with us up in the log house. And she raised her family there and died there.
And who was Aunt Suzanne?
My mother's sister.
Okay. And she got your grandfather's place,
Yeah.
her father's.
And she lived there till she died. She was in her 90s when she died. And had about 10 or 12 children. 10 anyway.
Good heavens.
Where's all your checkbooks? I'll work on them right quick.
I get my pocketbook in there. There's some of my checkbook.
Oh, where's your statements? Down that drawer?
It might be in that shelf in the top of the drawer. Not in the drawer, but just laying on top of the drawer. And
Things flickering.
then I was about 6 years old when my mother married again. And we moved over there close to Duxborough, and then back to where my daddy, and on the place that my daddy and mother was, where I was born, but it had a house there then. It wasn't a log house.
And was that on your daddy's property?
on my daddy's property that he had given my mother.
He gave your mother in a divorce, is that it?
Yeah, I never had it.
Is this what it's in?
It's heavy, yeah. And get my pocketbook.
I'll show you your pocketbook.
It's got some lace done. Yeah, and I guess that's about all we can do with that now. I can't think of anything else. And then when my mother, finally my mother and dad, and my mother and stepdaddy, when I moved over there where I was born, on that property. And that's what lived back over there till I married.
And what was the aunt's name?
Susanne Thompson.
No, it's a different one. The one that owned the property that your father had that he gave your mother.
Well,
You said her name a while ago.
Susanne Thompson.
Is that it?
That's her name.
She's the one that raised your dad?
No, Celia Dalton's one.
Celie Dalton, that's the one I was trying to think
Raised my
of.
dad.
And she raised your father and a little black boy, didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't she?
Mm-hmm. That was for he was married.
Yeah.
And she give
Where's your checkbook on this checkbook?
the colored boy and my daddy about 200 acres of land. And
A piece or what?
yeah,
Each got 200 acres?
and then about $1,000 money, I think.
That's what I thought. There was some money there.
Mm-hmm.
How old was your daddy when she died? You have any idea?
How old was
Was your daddy when she died? He's a young man,
And you
wasn't
talking about Celie Dalton now?
he? Yeah, Celia Dalton died when your daddy was a young man.
yes?
He's already
Uh,
married.
No, I
Dupree,
don't think so.
well, Dupree told me that your uncles, grandma's brothers, is the ones that helped lead your daddy astray and
I know it.
caused him to lose all that money.
But I don't know where he got it before he married Mommy. I guess he married before he married my mother. Probably that's
I think your dad, Dupree said he's about 14 years old, I think.
when he got the money.
That's what I think.
Well, I wouldn't
Oh,
doubt
gee.
that. Sounds familiar.
Now, I'm just...
That sounds like it could be true. I'm
what-
pretty sure he had when he married my mother.
Yeah, and Dupree said that your mother's brothers is the ones that caused him to lose all of
Well,
that.
I think that myself, I'd agree with him. Because they was gamblers and drank too.
Yeah.
And they'd come over there, and he had the money, and they'd come over there and they'd
Now, where's y'all again?